welcome to the final edition of the Jayne Arledge Show here at North Greenville University, where Christ makes the difference. Well, Coach, your very young basketball team had an amazing season. They really did. I'm so proud of them. They did a great job. You know, we started off kind of slow, and the young kids got better and better as the year went on, which is what you want. And we ended up being fourth in the nation, so that's pretty good. Well, let's talk about the run at the NCCAA National Tournament last week. Oh, for the love of a basket down the stretch in the final couple games. Oh my gosh, you know, it got down, we led almost the entire game, it seemed like, against Ecclesia, and then, you know, it got down to like, 30 seconds to go, and we called a play, got a wide open shot, and missed it, and then we had another putback and missed it. Oh, we're just, oh, please, somebody put the ball in the basket, and so it just didn't work out for us. That's the way basketball is. Sometimes it goes in and sometimes it doesn't. You're exactly right. The Crusaders defeated Bluefield College 65-51 in the first round behind Christina Carlos's 13 points. And some pretty balanced scoring in that game. We played about as good as I've seen us play all year against them. It was amazing. I was going, who is this team? Because they, usually the first round of the national tournament, everybody's playing a little bit scared. And our team just came out and played really tough. I was very proud of them. That's why I really thought they had a chance to get to the national championship game, because they're coming off a really dominating performance. Right. They played as well as I could have ever prayed and asked that they play. Just the next day, we just didn't have the same whatever it was. It wasn't quite there. You led at halftime in that game. With 4 minutes to go, you still had the lead. It just wouldn't go in down the stretch. It just, down the stretch, we just couldn't make the basket that we needed at the end. Well, they dropped the third place game to number 1 seed Mount Vernon Nazarene, but your trip to Indiana had a lot more elements to it, didn't it? You had a little bit of historical significance. It was a great trip, really. We stopped on the way down and practiced at Kentucky. They just turned over their women's practice facility to us. And we got to go in their practice locker room, and it was really amazing, all the nice stuff they have there. And then on Saturday we went over to Notre Dame and toured Notre Dame and saw all that. What a great place! Such history there. And so it was very exciting. And something your young players remember when you go back next year. Exactly. I hope that's an encouragement to, they want to go back to that. I'm here with Scott Moore, the third-year assistant coach here at North Greenville University. Scott, you have a lot to do with the success of this team. Let's look ahead a little bit. What does this team need to add for the future?
Every year you kind of look at what you have coming back, what you need for the future. And one of the things we know, losing Nikki Wood, we need a point guard. Christina Carlos will probably assume the reins as our point guard next year, but we really need a backup for her that can step in for 15 to 20 minutes, allow Chris to move to the wing, take a little of the pressure off the point guard. Definitely need to find a big girl. Ray going down, you never know how girls come back from ACL injuries. Plus, she needs a backup anyway, so we definitely know we need a 1 and a 5, and then really, we already have 2 commitments from 2 4 players, so we're pretty set at the post, we think. Really probably adding a secondary shooter. Carly will need to replace Whitney there as the secondary shooter for the team.
Well, Scott, what other roles do you fill in for Coach Arledge during the course of the season? Obviously, you bring a lot to the table, but a lot of experience as well.
Yeah, Coach and I do a really good job of working together. We'll decide before practice what drills we're doing, who's going to lead what drill, who's going to, take a second group to the side while she's working with a different group. Sometimes we pick teams and kind of scrimmage against each other and have those little back and forths, but a lot of it we do together. I've worked in other programs where the head coach runs the show. In the secondary, the assistant coaches do secondary roles, where Coach and I, it's pretty much double primary. She gets to stand during the games, but she gives me a lot of leeway to sub kids as I feel. I call a few plays, she calls a few plays. We talk about defenses and everything, so it's a really good relationship that we have as coaches.
That's why North Greenville is a little bit better option than a lot of programs, I believe.
Yeah, especially the fact that being a full-time assistant coach, we go to a lot of places and head coaches have volunteer assistants or only grad assistants or only part-time assistants, where, I'm here full-time. Coach and I are in the office, 8-10 hours a day together working on things and deciding who to go out and recruit, deciding what's the game plan, watching game film, breaking down our own game film. So, the 2 of us together sharing an office gives a lot of time for us to work out, and it works really well for us.
And then it leads to some of the success we've had.
Yeah, hopefully that, we like to see that translate on the court, because the girls see us. We never butt heads. We never sit in a huddle and go like, Coach, I don't think we should do that. Because we've already thought about it. We've already talked about it in practice. We've talked about it in the office. There's never a time where either one of us second guess the other one, because we're usually on the same wavelength.
Well, that's great, Scott. Thank you.
Sure.
Well, Coach Arledge, the season's over now, and you know your team far exceeded the goals that you set for them. I remember looking at the goals up on the wall here in the locker room at the beginning of the season. It's always good to look back and reflect on the high points of the season and what really made the difference in this successful season that you had.
You know, it's kind of a shame now that we're putting up the uniforms now. I feel like now we're just playing as good as we can play, and that's kind of, you know, you don't want to see this season end, but it is over. You know, we had some great times this year. We went to NC State, started off, you know, with a real bonding experience there and having fun there. Then our season kind of went on a slide. We went, you know, didn't win as many games as we wanted to, so then we, you know, had to put more pressure in practice, more pressure on the kids, you know, and pressure on our leaders to step up, and they did a good job. We went to Hawaii, you know, got a big win, and from there on we won like 9 out of 11 of our games, which helped us. And then, you know, winning the region, that was huge. You know, I think most of us, when we think back to this year, we'll think of when we won the region. We had to beat Southern Wesleyan in a nail biter, and then came out strong and beat Emmanuel. And then, of course, going to the Nationals, great experience.
Well, all those experiences will build on for the future, won't they?
Oh, yeah. You know, hopefully our kids are energetic and excited about getting better for next year.
Well, Coach, speaking of leadership, you're losing 4 pretty outstanding seniors this season.
Oh, yes. You know, our seniors did a great job for us all year long. You know, especially in that second half, they accepted the pressure. They accepted the part where they had to bond the team together, and I really give them a lot of credit for it. Whitney and Nikki did a great job. They, on and off the court, I thought they were true leaders in getting the team ready. Quetta did a great job, you know, as far as coming out, and especially she had some great games there in the national tournament. And then Bridget did some wonderful things for us. So I'm going to be very sad to see them all leave.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, in a couple of words, summarize this season for us.
You know, this season was one that you look back and you think, where did it go? Because the first part of the season was kind of, it was bad, and so you just kind of forgot about it. So then, you know, you just remember all the good parts, and now that's over. And so, you know, I'm just happy that we had some success. I'm happy that the kids got to go to the Nationals, and I just look forward to working with the ones that are coming back.
And what's next for North Greenville basketball now that the season's over and you're looking ahead to the off season?
Well, you know, we got to get recruiting going, as Scott said. There's a lot of kids we got to replace. We have some big seniors with some big shoes we got to fill. So that's the first thing on our plate. And then we'll work on doing some stuff in the off season, working on what the kids need to do to get better, to be a better player for next year.
Well, if you're watching, if you're a recruit for North Greenville University, this is the place for you. Well, Coach, once again, it's been my honor and pleasure working with you all season long.
Thank you very much.
I'll look forward to next fall when we get going again, and we'll look for another run next season as well.
Exactly. We hope we're there.
Okay, for Coach Jayne Arledge, I'm Fred Battenfield, and this is the Crusader Sports Network.